Hello friends, welcome to Direct Marina YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about basic ship construction and naval architecture terms. So let's discuss about the basic ship construction and naval architecture terms. Okay. Port and starboard side. Suppose if you view the ship from the aft side, the left side of the ship is called port side and the right is called starboard side. Okay. If you view the ship from the aft or from the back side aft, the left side is known as port side and the right is called starboard side. Okay. Length overall, it is the distance from the extreme fore part of the ship to the similar point aft, and it is the greatest length of ship. This length is important when docking. Length overall means the distance from the extreme fore part of ship to the similar point aft, and it is the greatest length of ship. This length is important when docking. Stem means it is the frontmost part of boat or ship bow. It is known as stem of ship. Stem means it is the frontmost part of boat or ship bow. Length between perpendicular. For perpendicular, it is the point at which summer load water line crosses the stem. Length between perpendicular means it is the for perpendicular is the point at which summer load water line crosses the stem. After perpendicular is the after side of rudder post or the center of rudder stroke if there is no rudder post. After perpendicular is the after side of rudder post or the center of rudder stroke if there is no rudder post. So the distance between these 2 points, that means forward perpendicular and after perpendicular, this length is known as length between perpendicular. This is also used for ship calculation. Okay, the distance between forward perpendicular and after perpendicular is known as length between perpendicular, and this is used for ship calculation. Then breadth extreme. It is the greatest breadth of ship measured to the outside of the shell plating. It is the greatest breadth of ship measured to the outside of shell plating. Then breadth molded. This is the greatest breadth of ship measured to inside strikes of shell plating. Breadth molded means it is the greatest breadth of ship measured to inside strikes of shell plating. Depth extreme. It is the depth of ship measured from underside of keel to top of deck beam at side of uppermost continuous deck amidship. Depth extreme means it is the depth of ship measured from underside of keel to top of deck beam at side of uppermost continuous deck at the amidship. Then depth molded. It is the depth measured from top of the keel. Depth molded means it is the depth measured from the top of keel. Then draft extreme. Distance from the bottom of keel to water line. Draft extreme means it is distance from the bottom of keel to water line. The load draft is maximum draft to which vessel may be loaded. Load draft is maximum draft to which vessel may be loaded. Draft molded. The draft measured from top of keel to water line. Draft measured from the top of keel to water line is known as draft molded. Then freeboard. It is the distance from water line to top of deck plating at side of deck amidship. Freeboard means distance from the water line to top of deck plating at the side of deck amidship. Freeboard represents safety margin showing to what depth a ship may be loaded under various service conditions. Okay, the freeboard represents the safety margin showing to what depth ship may be loaded under various service conditions. To make example, say type of cargo, water to be navigated, and session, that means season of the year. Okay, this all depends on the freeboard of ship. Then camber or round of beam. Camber or round of beam, it is the transverse curvature of the deck from the center line down to the sides. It is the transverse curvature of the deck from center line down to sides. This camber is used on exposed deck to drive water to the sides of ship. Transverse curvature of deck from center line down to the sides. This camber is used on exposed deck to drive water to the sides of ship. Other deck are often cambered. Most modern ships have deck which are flat transversely over the width of hatch or center tanks and slope down towards sides of ship. Most modern ship they will have deck which are flat transversely over width of the hatch or center tanks and slope down towards the side of ship. Shear, it is the curvature of deck in the fore and aft direction. It is the curvature of deck in the fore and aft direction, rising from midship to a maximum at the ends. Rising from the midship to the maximum at ends. The curvature of deck in fore and aft direction, rising from midship to maximum at ends. Shear forward is usually twice that aft. Shear forward is usually twice that aft. Shear on exposed deck makes ship more seaworthy. Shear on exposed deck makes the ship more seaworthy. By raising the deck at fore and after ends, by raising the deck at fore and after end, further from water, and by reducing the volume of water coming with the deck, further from water and by reducing volume of water coming from the deck. Okay. Shear means curvature of deck in the fore and aft direction, rising from amidship to a maximum at the ends. Shear forward is usually twice that aft. Shear on exposed deck makes a ship more seaworthy by raising the deck at fore and after end, further from the water and by reducing the volume of water coming from the deck. A rise of floor, it is the bottom shell of a ship and is sometimes sloped up from the keel to the bilge to facilitate drainage. Bottom shell of a ship means it is sometimes sloped up from the keel to bilge to facilitate drainage. The rise of floor is small, that means 150 mm being usual. The rise of floor is small, usual, that means 150 mm being usual. Then bilge radius, the radius of arc connecting the side of ship to the bottom at midship portion of ship. Radius of arc connecting side of ship to the bottom at midship portion of ship. Tumble home, in some ship, midship side shell in the region of upper deck, it is curved slightly towards center line. In some ship, midship shell in the region of upper deck, it is curved slightly towards center line, thus reducing the width of upper deck and decks above. Thus reducing the width of upper deck and decks above. Such a tumble home improves appearance of ship. This tumble home improves appearance of ship. Okay. Tumble home means in some ship, midship side shell in region of upper deck is curved slightly towards center line, thus reducing the width of upper deck and deck above. Such tumble home improves appearance of ship. Strake. Strake means external hull of a ship. External hull of a ship consists of bottom shell, side shell and deck. Consists of bottom shell, side shell and deck, which are found by longitudinal strips plate called strake. Which are found by longitudinal strips plating called strake. Continue the range of plate forming the side of shell. Continue the range of plate forming the side of shell, or metal plate extending ship hull from the stem to stern, or metal plate extending ship hull from stem to stern. Strake means external hull of a ship consists of bottom shell, side shell, deck, which are formed by longitudinal strips plating called strake. Continue the range of plating forming the side of vessel, or metal plate extending the ship's hull from stem to stern. Bilge strake, it is the strike at the turn of bilge. Bilge strike means it is a strike at the turn of bilge. Stealer strike, number of adjacent strike fitted at the end of ship. Stealer strike means number of adjacent strike fitted at the end of ship. Garboard strike, strike adjacent to keel on each side of ship. Garboard strike means strike adjacent to keel on each side of ship. Shear strike and its importance. Shear strike and its importance means it is the largest continuous strike at top of side of vessel on main deck. It is the largest continuous strike at top of side of vessel on the main deck. Uppermost strikes of side plating which meets the upper deck. Uppermost strikes of side plating which meets upper deck. It is 10 to 20% thicker than side plating. It is 10 to 20% thicker than side plating. Importance. When vessel is bending to forces from tension to compression. When vessel is bending to forces from tension to compression, shear strike is subjected to maximum compressive and tensile stress. Shear strike is subjected to maximum compressive and tensile stress, which contributes to strength of hull. Okay. When vessel is bending to forces from tension to compression, shear strike is subjected to maximum compressive and tensile stress, which will contribute to strength of hull. Stringer. Stiffness used to strengthen the side surface of ship are called stringer. Stiffeners used to strengthen straight surface of ship are known as stringer. Without stringer, hull shape doesn't form. Without stringer, we cannot form the shape of hull. Coffin plate. These are used to connect stern frame of flat plate crane. It is used to connect stern frame of flat plate crane. Shoe plate used to connect stem to the flat plate crane. Used to connect stem to the flat plate crane. Then margin plate. At bilges, tank top may be either continued straight out to the shell by means of tank margin plate. At bilges, tank top may be either continued straight out to the shell by means of tank margin plate, which is watertight and set at an angle of about 45 to tank top and meets shell almost at right angle. Okay, which is a watertight. They will set an angle of about 45 to the tank top and meets the shell about at a right angle. Bulwark. It is a solid wall that extends above the weather deck or any other deck to be exposed to weather and fitted for the safety of crew. Bulwark means it is a solid wall that extends above the weather deck or any other deck to be exposed to weather and fitted for the safety of crew. At least 1 meter in height, spacing of stay and is not exceed 1.2 meter on the forecastle. At least 1 meter in height, spacing of stays and is not exceed 1.2 meter on the forecastle. Transom space. It is situated in the steering gear room. There you can find manhole door near rudder trunk. You can find manhole door near rudder trunk. The purpose is to inspect rudder trunk condition. Main purpose is to inspect rudder trunk condition, lubrication, etc. You can enter inside of this place for carried out inspection in port only and in calm weather or sea. You can enter inside this place for carried out inspection in port only and in calm weather or sea. Buttock lane. It is an equidistant transverse suction lane from midship to forward of ship. It is an equidistant transverse suction lane from midship to forward of ship, such that they give you cross section at various stations at all posterior draft and trim. Such that they give you cross section at all possible draft and trim. These buttock lane, they are mainly used for knowing lightweight displacement at a time of the end of construction phase of ship. They are mainly used for knowing lightweight displacement at the time of the end of construction phase of ship. Gunwale. It is the upper edge of ship where sheer strike meets deck plating. Gunwale means it is the upper edge of ship side where sheer strike meets the deck plating. Margin lane. It is a lane drawn at least 76 mm below upper surface of bulkhead side. Okay, it is the lane. Margin lane is a lane drawn at least 76 mm below upper surface of bulkhead deck at side. Margin lane, it is an imaginary lane which is drawn 76 mm below the uppermost continuous deck. This will denote limit up to which ship can be flooded or loaded without sinking. Margin lane means it is an imaginary lane. It is drawn 76 mm below uppermost continuous deck. It denotes limit up to which ship can be flooded or loaded without sinking. For a ship which has a continuous bulkhead deck, margin lane is to be taken. Margin lane is to be taken as lane drawn not less than 76 mm below upper surface of bulkhead deck at side. A margin lane is to be taken as lane drawn not less than 76 mm below upper surface of bulkhead deck at side, except that where there is variation in the thickness of bulkhead deck, at side, the upper surface of deck should be taken at least thickness of deck at side above the beam. The upper surface of deck should be taken at the least thickness of deck at the side of the beam. If desired, however, upper deck of the deck may be taken. Upper surface of the deck may be taken at mean thickness of deck at the side above the beam at the mean thickness of the duct at the side of the beam. Calculator for the whole length of duct. Calculator for the whole length of duct. Provided that thickness is no greater than least thickness plus 50 mm. Thickness is no greater than least thickness plus 50 mm. Thickness is no greater than least thickness from 50 mm. Okay. If desired, however, upper surface of duct may be taken at the mean thickness of duct at side above beam as calculator for the whole length of duct, provided that thickness is no greater than least thickness plus 50 mm. Then we will discuss about dead weight and late weight of ship. Late weight means late weight or late ship measures actual weight of ship with no fuel, passenger, cargo, water and lake on board. This is the mass of an empty ship. Late weight or late ship, it is the mass of an empty ship. This will measures actual weight of ship with no fuel, passenger, cargo, water, etc. Dead weight means it is the difference between displacement and late weight. Dead weight means it is the difference between displacement and late weight. It includes mass of cargo, fuel, water, store, etc. It includes mass of cargo, fuel, water, stores, etc. So, what is the material used for shipbuilding? So, let's discuss about this. What are the materials that are used for shipbuilding and all? The Classification Society published rules and regulations for the strength of ship. The Classification Societies have made and published rules and regulations for the strengthening of ship. Mild steel or low carbon steel in several grades has been used as ship construction material because of its mechanical properties and low cost. Mainly mild steel or low carbon steel in several grades has been used as ship structural material because of mechanical properties and low cost. Okay. There are mainly 4 grades of steel specified by classification societies based on degree of notch toughness. We can say notch toughness is ability that a material possesses to absorb energy in presence of flow. Notch toughness means it is the ability of a material to possess to absorb energy in presence of flow. Okay. There are 4 grades of steel specified by the classification societies based on the notch toughness. They are grade A, grade B, grade D, grade E. A, B, D, E. These are 4 grades. Here grade A is least toughness while grade D has greatest notch toughness. Okay. Grade A has least notch toughness and grade D has greatest notch toughness. High tensile steel which have higher strength than mild steel are employed in most stress region of large tankers, container ship and bulk carrier. High tensile steel which have higher strength than mild steel are employed in more stress regions like large tanker, container ship and bulk carrier. Okay. Aluminum alloy. Major advantage of aluminum alloy over mild steel is its weight. We have to understand that major advantage of an aluminum alloy over mild steel is its weight. Aluminum alloy are much lighter than steel. We have to understand that aluminum alloys are much lighter than steel. The most often used aluminum alloy in shipbuilding are 5083 type of plate and 6082 for extrusion. The most often used of aluminum alloy in shipbuilding are 5083 type for plates and 6082 type for extrusions and all. Shell plating, mainly we use steel plate. For shell plating we use steel plate. Superstructure, we use aluminum alloy used in accommodation of passenger ship to reduce weight. In superstructure and all we use aluminum alloy in accommodation of passenger ship to reduce the weight. Watertight door and all we use mild steel or cast steel. In watertight door we use mild steel or cast steel. Stern frame we use cast, forged or fabricated from steel plate. Stern frame we use cast, forged or fabricated from steel plate. Rudder stock, cast or forged steel we use. Rudder stock we use cast or forged steel. Propeller we use copper alloy such as brass. Propeller we use copper alloy such as brass and all. So what is plate, bar and beam in ship's construction? So let's discuss about plate, bar and beam, different types of material that used in ship construction. Plate means it is a rectangular shaped steel with a certain thickness. The most common place you can see the plate in ship construction is the main deck and the side of ship. Plate means it is a rectangular shaped steel with a certain thickness. Most common place you can see plate in a ship construction is the main deck and side of ship. And bar. There is only one principal difference between steel plate and steel bar. Steel bar has less cross section width than steel plate. Okay, bar means it is have only one principal difference between steel plate and steel bar. Steel bar has less cross section width than steel plate. Beam means it is a structural element that increases load bearing capability and avoid bending of structure. Beam means it is a structural element that increases load bearing capability and avoid bending of structure. Beam can be categorized by many terms, but from the point of ship construction, we need to categorize it through cross section shape. Beams can be categorized by many types, but from point of ship construction, we need to categorize it through cross section shape. For example, there are L-shaped beams, H-shaped beams, C-shaped beams, I-shaped beams, and so on. Beam is a structural element that increases load bearing capability and avoid bending of structure. Beams can be categorized by many types, but from the point of construction, we need to categorize it through cross section shape. Thank you.